some what sold last week action. It was another week where, again, I had the coupon running. Sales volume was about the same. I've got some sales on both Mercari and eBay this week. We're going to start off, and it's not all books. So there's still a lot of books for you book lovers out there, but it's not all books. This first sale was over on Mercari. It was a set of 5 books. There was a collection of collector's books from the 1950s from a publisher called Gramercy. It was essentially American silver, American glass, American crystal. There were 5 different ones that I found. This was part of the free haul that I did a couple of weeks ago. Individually, they were not worth a whole bunch. $4 free shipping, which is pointless. So I put these together in a lot. I was fortunate they were all in pretty good shape. They all had their dust jackets. So I lotted them together, listed them for, over on Mercari, I listed them for $30 with free shipping. I received an offer of $25, which I went ahead and took. They cost about $4.45 to ship. So after fees, this is probably $15 or $18 net profit because they were free to me. So if you can find individually, or sometimes it pays to just pick these things up individually and kind of hang on to them until you get enough to make a set. But if you find a set of these Gramercy kind of antique collector's books, they're not terrible. Again, if you put them in a lot. Speaking of old books, here's another one from 1940, The Valley Beyond by William Byron Mowry. This was on Sundial Press, which is a really old publisher. It was in its dust jacket, which was in reasonably good condition. I had this listed for $34.99 or best offer over on eBay. I was running it as part of a 25% off promotion, and someone bought it for $26.24. This is one that I had picked up at an estate sale several months ago as part of a fairly large lot that I own for about 75 cents per book. Another book. I said it wouldn't be all books, and it won't be. Just bear with me. Family Living from 1950, a second printing by Evelyn Millis Duval. This was an illustrated hardcover, kind of a home economics textbook from the 1950s. This was something I picked up at an estate sale for $1. I had it listed for $34.99 plus shipping. I had it in my 25% off sale, and someone bought it as well for $26.24. Again, some old textbooks, particularly when you start to get back into 40s, 50s, early 60s era, are definitely worth looking up. They can bring pretty reasonable money. This was another book that was part of a collection that was part of the free haul. So again, this is something I have absolutely no money in. The American Heritage Junior Library. These were published in the mid to late 1960s. There was a whole bunch of them, and some of them are only worth $6, $8, $10. Some of them, particularly the World War II era ones, are pretty valuable. I have another one that I sold for $25 that I'm not showing today, but I sold this one, The Carrier War in the Pacific, for $30 on a best offer from a listing price of $34.99 plus shipping. So if you are out and about and you see the collection of American Heritage Junior Library books, and they're in any kind of shape at all, particularly the ones relating to World War II, look to be worth anywhere from $25 to $35 a piece. So again, if the estate sale's asking $5 for them, maybe it's not so much fun, but in the case of this one, this was part of my free haul, so we will definitely take it. These are not books, but they're audio books. So does that count? Is that a book? Does that count as a book? Anyway, I picked these up at an estate sale early summer, late spring. I paid $1 a piece for these. Contagious Christianity, a study of First Thessalonians by Charles Swindoll, and James Hands-On, Christianity Insight for Living. These were both cassette tape audiobooks. I think the one was maybe 8 tapes. The other one was 10, something like that. Like I said, I picked them up for $1 a piece. They sold both to one buyer for $16.99 each with free shipping. So not huge money, but the fact that the customer bought both of them together saved me a little money on shipping and made that an all right sale. I don't do particularly well with audiobooks for some reason. I know a lot of folks seem to do fairly decent with those, but I've not had great success with them. I haven't bought big lots of hundreds of them. So my point of reference is a little bit limited, but they don't seem to do, for me at least, as well as traditional books. This was an interesting piece, and I probably overpaid for it, but I bought it on a flyer because I just never had seen anything like it. From 1968, a Vietnam War era United States Air Force coverall. Had its label in it, K2B, flying, man size, small, short. I mean, it had all the specifics. It was a really interesting kind of historical piece of kit from the United States Air Force in the Vietnam era. I paid $20 for it just because I thought it was a cool, interesting piece to have. I originally listed it for $49.99 plus shipping. I had a couple people ask questions on it here and there, but nobody had really made an offer. Last week, I got an offer of $40 plus shipping on it, and I went ahead and just busted out of that. It made a little bit of money, not a ton, but it was just a really interesting piece. Probably I should have fought a little harder to maybe get it down to $10 to make a little bit more money on it, but it was kind of a cool thing, and $40 plus shipping is better than a kick in the head. Next up, still going through these Schwinn bicycle catalogs. I'm down to a really relative handful now, but I had one buyer that made offers on 3 different of these. I had them listed for $23.99 or best offer. This individual offered me $18 a piece for 3 of them. Again, 3 of them shipped for the same price as an individual one, so I saved, $6 and something on shipping, which made this a little bit more worthwhile. I own these for about 12.5 cents a piece, so I got less than 40 cents in this, and they sold for a total of $54 with free shipping. So again, old Schwinn, any of the old bike catalogs. There were a few other brands that were mixed in there, Raleigh and Specialized, and they've all done really remarkably well. So very happy with that buy. Train magazines, not model railroads this time, but actual railroads. Railfan and Railroad Magazine. I had a customer that reached out with a couple of offers on volume 22 and volume 28 from the early 2000s. Both of these were complete year sets. I own these for less than $1 per year, so I've got less than $2 in this total. They sold for a combined total of $60 plus customer paid shipping, so $30 each on an original investment of $1. These are all things that I've picked up in big lots of magazines. Again, if you can find them and bundle them up by year, I've actually done pretty well even with some partial years, making $15 or $18 sales on these. Railroad memorabilia, there's good money in it. Those train lovers are nuts for this kind of stuff. So $60 plus shipping on an investment of $2. This was a nice sale on a book that I really never understood why the value of it was so high. I sat on this actually for quite some time. I had it listed for $99.99 because that's looked like where the comps were on this. This is Bad Boy, The Life and Politics of Lee Atwater. It was a first printing hardcover with dust jacket from, I want to say, maybe the early 2000s or the late 1990s. Not hardly any of these out there, and they all brought good money. I sat on this for a very long time at $99.99 with free shipping, and I had a customer last week that reached out with an offer of $75. This was part of a big lot. I own this for 25 cents, so I went ahead and took the money on that. And now I believe this next item will be our flip of the week. Yes. Michael Jordan Space Jam Oversized Movie Cel cards in holders. So these were produced in the 1990s when the original movie, which is the only one to watch, by the way, Space Jam came out with Michael Jordan. These are essentially 4x6 oversized like film cells in plexiglass holders that were also in kind of felt-lined individual boxes. I found these at a garage sale. Gosh, I want to say it was probably back in late July or August. The guy was asking $30 for the set of 4 of them. I was buying some other stuff. I got this down to about $25. I had them listed for, I believe, $124.99 plus shipping. I've had a lot of customers ask questions about these and make kind of ridiculous lowball offers by message. But I finally got an offer of $110 plus shipping on these. As a percentage, not necessarily a 25-cent book into $75, but a pretty nice profit margin from $25 to $110 plus shipping for these Michael Jordan and kind of Looney Tunes. They were done by Upper Deck. They had a certificate of authenticity with them. They were all numbered. So it was a really nice set. Again, got a lot of interest, had a ton of watchers on it, but I couldn't get anybody to bite. Finally, somebody came to me with a $110 offer, which I went ahead and took. So that is your what sold recap for last week. Again, I see a lot of times on Instagram and some of the other places people posting, $500 and $1,000 and $2,000 sales. I just really haven't had anything like that. My business is much more of a grind of a lot of, again, sub $20 stuff. I worry sometimes about new resellers or people thinking about getting into reselling that see those videos and think that this is going to be easy money. And if you're watching this show, I will remind you that it is not easy money. It is a lot of work. It is Wednesday afternoon. I've already done 100 listings this week. I'll probably do another 60 or 70 more. I've got to go over to my antique booth and do some work. So it's a legit full-time job if you're doing it right. And it is not, as I talked about last week, it is not all unicorns and rainbows. It is a lot of work, and it is fun, and there is money to be made, but don't allow yourself to get caught up in the expectation that everything you pick up is going to be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. And that's how this business always works, because that is not, unfortunately, the case. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. I appreciate it. If you want to catch the full Reselling News podcast, click the video in the upper right-hand corner. To never miss a show, you can subscribe down below.